Hey everyone, thanks for clicking on my video and welcome to my channel. If you haven't watched my videos before, basically every month I go ahead and I do a tier list ranking of all the movies I watched that month and I record it on Letterboxd. So I have all those movies listed here. I have 24 of them today, and how I differ from other channels is instead of only doing new releases, I actually do new, old, everything I watch that month and throw it in here. So I find that fun to look back on my month and watch and how I saw everything and how I viewed it and bring it to you on a tier list. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I have the tier list pulled up here, and I said this before, but I apologize for the ads. I don't want to pay for the full version of this website, so we have ads here. I'll be scrolling back and forth. I apologize, but you can bear with it. I'll bear with it. Let's get into this. Like I said, 24 films, so let's get started. And first off, we have a movie that I've actually been seeing recently in the news because Johnny Knoxville did an interview for it, and that is The Ringer. So in the interview, Knoxville was asked if he regrets making this film, and he actually said he does not because he saw the film as a cherish and a celebration of the Special Olympics, and I thought that was a pretty cool way of him looking at the movie. The first time I watched this film a couple years back, I didn't really love it. I thought it was an okay film. But on this second watch, I realized it's actually a pretty cool story, and I like how Knoxville's character goes from just being money hungry and taking advantage of the people in this situation to actually really caring about them, being friends with them, and making them a big part of his life. So I thought that was cool, and upon rewatch, I'm actually going to put The Ringer in the good category. Next up here we have Pet Sematary. And Pet Sematary is an awesome film in my opinion. This is a first time watch for me. It's one of the scariest movies I've seen in recent times, and not due to the fact that there's jump scares or demonic things going on or anything that you would find scary in the normal sense, but scary and because a lot of the things that happen, especially in the first 2/3 of this movie, are things that can happen in real life, and when those events happen, it is scary. I'm not a father or anything, but I have a niece and nephew who I see every week, and events in this movie are just terrifying to me, and it's something that you don't want to happen to anyone. So putting that negative stuff to the side, the movie as itself, I think is a really strong movie. The first 2/3 are awesome. I do think it kind of slows down a bit in that last third with the whole Chucky ripoff thing that happens there, but overall, I'm going to go ahead and throw this in the amazing tier. I really think it's a horror classic. Next up, we have Freddy vs. Jason. I'm a huge fan of the Friday the 13th franchise. You may know that already if you've watched my videos. When it comes to the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, I think the original is one of the greatest horror movies of all time. And I don't really love any of the sequels. I haven't seen Freddy's Dead or New Nightmare yet. I'll probably watch those soon and they'll be in a tier list at some point. But of the other ones, my favorite's probably Dream Warriors, and I still don't even love that one. I know it's blasphemy, but Freddy vs. Jason, I think, takes the best aspects of both these films and creates a team-up or a, match-up film perfectly. And being all honest, just based on my fun I have with the film and the time that I had enjoying watching it, I'm going to throw it amazing. Alright, I Know What You Did Last Summer. Another amazing 90s slasher. I just said the word, that's where it's going. There's a few films here that I could find myself throwing into that perfect category, but perfect I say for my 5 out of 5 star film, so that's hard for me to get to. But I Know What You Did Last Summer is probably going to go up there in amazing too. It looks like amazing's going to run away with this tier list, but we'll see. And don't want to speak too soon, but we have Karate Kid, which everyone knows. That's an amazing movie. It's been around since the 80s. We've all seen it multiple times. We all know this whole Karate Kid story, wax on, wax off, Mr. Miyagi. It's become a big part of our culture, and it only deserves to be in those top 2 tiers. For me, it's going amazing. Next up, we have the original Austin Powers movie. I have seen bits and pieces of every single Austin Powers, but I've never sat down and fully watched one until this month when I watched the original. And while I think there's some that I find funnier than the original because, just thinking back on the clips I've seen and the times I've watched it either on TV or thrown a DVD in when I'm hanging out with friends, I think the second's probably my favorite. But this one is still a good film. I'm gonna throw like the high end of good right now. I don't know yet if it's gonna go an amazing. We're gonna have to think. Next up, Nobody 2. Nobody 1 is one of my favorite John Wick style action movies of the last like 10 years. I love that movie. I think this one's a lot of fun, but I don't think it's on the level of the original. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in that average solid film tier list, and I think that's where it belongs. Next up, we have Weapons. For some reason, I've been hearing polarizing things about this one. I don't understand that because I truly think it is one of the best movies of the year. Not just best horror movies, best movies in general. And it doesn't quite deserve that perfect, but I'm gonna throw in that amazing tier list. Next up, we got Fight or Flight. I didn't have this movie on my radar, but then I saw a review for it saying that it's Bullet Train on a plane, and I love Bullet Train. So I went ahead and checked it out, and I do have one issue with it, and that being that it really is trying to be Bullet Train on a plane. The humor is the same, the way the characters are introduced is the same, the way the story progresses is the same. It's all the same movie, just not done as well. So for me, I can't put this high up on my tier list because I'm just gonna watch Bullet Train. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this on the it's alright tier. Next up, a brand new A24 movie, which I just watched like 4 days ago. And I really did love this movie. I thought the humor was awesome. I thought the characters were awesome. And Tim Robinson, I believe it's his name, the guy from like all those sketches. He is super good in this role. He does an amazing job. And the fact that he can make you cringe and feel so uncomfortable the whole time watching it, that deserves some respect. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this also in that amazing tier list. I watched a lot of good films this month. All right, next up we have Together. This was the body horror film with Dave Franco. I found this one to be very entertaining. Me and my girlfriend went to see it in the theaters together, and we had a good time watching it the entire time through. She screamed a couple times, she laughed a few times. I felt the same way. I thought this movie mixed the humor and the comedy very well, but I also felt like something was missing there, so I can't quite put it in one of those top tiers, but it is a good film, and it's gonna go in the good tier list. Alright, I didn't know if I was going to include this next one, but I decided to, and we have Sweet Revenge, the Friday the 13th short film brought to you by Angry Orchard. Stay tuned for another video coming soon, where I will be trying all the Angry Orchard Friday the 13th drinks and doing a tier list on those movies, so that'll be coming soon, hopefully my next video, we'll see. But, for now, Sweet Revenge. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I don't think it's a bad short film. But for me, someone who's been waiting for a Friday the 13th film their whole life, because I was too young to go see the remake in theaters, it didn't really do it all for me. I thought that Jason was okay. I thought the characters were okay. It was kind of weird how like Jason teamed up with that chick at the end and he kind of like a girlfriend. I didn't understand that whole thing. It's fun, but it's not my style of Jason, so I'm going to throw in the it's alright tier. Next up, we have There Will Be Blood. One of the most talked about and like acclaimed movies of all time, and I've never seen it. So me and my dad one night, we were looking for a good movie to watch, and we landed on this one. We put it on, and we both had the same thoughts. This is a good movie that, if I watch it again, could become an amazing or perfect film. However, after one watch, I didn't fully digest all of it and understand all of it. So for me, it wasn't the best thing ever, but I do understand it's a good film. I do think the acting is incredible. So I'm going to put on the good film tier list for now, but just know with the rewatch, it could move. Alright, next up, another first time watch. We have Across the Universe. I enjoyed this movie. Did I think it was a great film? Not at all. I honestly thought there was a lot of plot holes and a lot of things missing in this movie that could have made it better had it been there. However, the movie had a great soundtrack and great visuals, and because of that, I was entertained the whole time, and I kept thinking about this film for like days on end after. So because it had such an impact on me, I listened to the Beatles after, I looked into cinematography after. I thought it was a beautifully shot film. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in that good tier list. Next up, we got Creepshow, another first time watch. A lot of first time watches on here, but that's what I was trying to do this month, watch something new. So Creepshow, I thought it was a lot of fun. And I think it's another film that I would like more upon rewatch, but something about these anthology horror films, besides Trick or Treat, I really haven't loved any of them. I don't know if it's because the story doesn't have enough time to build, or I think it jumps around too much. It just doesn't really grasp my attention. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I would definitely see myself rewatching it, putting on the background, catching, different segments of this film. But for me, on a personal level, it's gonna go in the average solid film tier list. Very solid, I love it. I think it's a lot of fun. But I can't put up in that good tier list. Next up, we have the Naked Gun original movie. I was going to watch this one and then go see the remake, but things go on in life. Life got busy, a lot of family things I had to deal with, and I was unable to go see the new one in theaters. Hopefully we'll catch it when it hits streaming. I really did enjoy this movie. I watched it with my dad because we were gonna go see the new one together. He has always loved this film, he told me, so he was cracking up the whole time. I think the humor is a bit dated for me. I didn't laugh as much as he did, but I did find it fun, and I actually thought it was a pretty cool story inside of it, even though it's a little spoof movie. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in the good tier list. Next up is Waxwork 2. I watched Waxwork a few months ago, and I've been thinking about it ever since. I thought it was a really fun film, and I went ahead and put this one on next. And again, a really fun film. I know why they're not classics. I know why they're not always talked about. They're not the greatest films ever, but they are a lot of fun. And this one had Bruce Campbell, so I loved that part of it. I almost want to rename this middle tier from average solid film to average solid fun, because everything in this tier list is super fun, but not the best thing ever, and that's where this is going to go. Alright, next up we have This Is Spinal Tap. I watched this one in anticipation for two things. Number one, if I liked it, I was going to get the Criterion release when it comes out at the next half off sale. And number two, This Is Spinal Tap 2 comes out in 15 days or something. So went ahead and watched this. I thought it was really enjoyable. I actually want to show it to my dad now because I think he would enjoy it, and then we're going to go see Spinal Tap 2 together. I don't think it's the best thing ever, but I think it's super fun, and it's already quotable even if I've only seen it one time. So I'm going to go ahead and throw it in that good tier list. Jason X is next. And nowhere, in no terms at all, is this a bad movie. But when it comes to Friday the 13th, this is not my vibe. I either like the hardcore realism slasher like Part 4, or I like the goofy, fun meta humor of Part 6. While you can say Jason X, Jason in space is meta humor, for me it goes a little bit over the top, a little bit too much at times. I do enjoy it. I see why some people is top 5 of the franchise, top 3 of the franchise. I totally get it. But for me, it's going to go in that it's alright film tier list. Next up, I'm trying to see this. The screen's a bit small on my end. I believe that's Part 4 Dream Master. I could be wrong, but I think it is. So we're going to count this as Dream Master. If I got it wrong, I apologize. And for this one, you know what? This is how I feel about all of the Friday the 13th sequels, so I'm just going to go ahead and say it right here. Part 2 is my least favorite. I don't know why. Didn't really work for me. I think it's because Freddy tries to be too mean and too, scary in that one, and I kind of like a fun Freddy who's quipping at you and giving one-liners. So I'd say 1 is amazing. It goes in that perfect tier list. 2 was my least favorite, and honestly, 3, 4, and 5, they're all going to go in that average solid films. Let me throw both of them in there just for now. And I don't know. I know die-hard Nightmare fans, the die-hard Freddy fans will have a different opinion on this, and they'll probably get mad at me for putting them here. Maybe they think Dream Master should be higher or Dream Child lower. I don't really know what people's thoughts are. I'm more of a Friday or an Evil Dead or a Scream guy. But, you know, as a first time watch of these films, I think as of now, they're just average films. You know, upon a rewatch, they'll probably move up and down for me, but for now, I'm going to throw them there. Next up, we got the Friday the 13th remake, and this is going to follow the same pace and go right in that average solid film tier list. I enjoy it for what it is. I think it does a good job of taking the story of the first 3 films. I know people say the first 4, but I really think it's the first 3. Taking the first 3 films and kind of combining it into 100-minute runtime and throwing it on the screen for you. I think the Jason we have in this movie is a pretty cool Jason. I think the characters, you know, some of them are just downright awful, but I enjoy a lot of them. I enjoyed the friends in the, you know, the main friend group. And I think it's an average film. Would it ever be one of my favorite Fridays? No, because I like that, you know, goofy, fun, 80s vibe you get to the original H movies, but this is a solid film. I wouldn't mind watching it if someone put on a Friday the 13th movie. Alright, next up we have Return of the Living Dead, and we are finally going back up to that tier list that's been running this thing with amazing. I love zombie films, I love horror comedies, I love just like silly, scary movies. You know, my favorite scary movies will never be like The Exorcist or Texas Chainsaw. I'm always like a Zombieland or Gremlins or Part 6 Friday the 13th type guy. That's just my vibe for horror movies, so this movie's gonna go up in that amazing tier list. This is a movie that I can come home late at night and throw it on in the background and fall asleep to it, get a couple chuckles, get a couple laughs, and enjoy myself. So this will always be a comfort film for me, and I heard there is a Legacy sequel, I think, coming out in December. It's like a sequel to only Part 1. I have mixed feelings about that. The teaser looked cool. It had Tarman in it, so we'll see. This is an awesome film. And last up on this film tier list, we have Last House on the Left. Another first time watch for me because I'm a big Wes Craven fan. I want to check this out. And I don't know. The first hour of this movie made me very uncomfortable. I don't like when movies get into that like sexual assault type vibe. It's not my thing at all. It makes me very uncomfortable. I don't like watching that on my TV. So, did not do it for me at all. However, that last 30 minutes when the parents go and get revenge, I think that's a cool revenge story. I get why this is a horror classic. I get, you know, coming out in the 70s, a lot of people were into that vibe of movie. For me, it's not my thing. I don't like this. I don't like, you know, the Hills Have Eyes remake. A lot of those things just don't, they're not feel-good movies, so they're not my type of film to watch. It's not a bad movie by any sense of means. I'm going to put in it's alright, but definitely not something I'd ever go back to. Alright, so we have all 24 movies on this tier list. Let me scroll up to get the 4 tiers in here. And let's go ahead and rank these. I started from the bottom last time. I think that was easiest for me, so let's do that again. We gotta put Jason X above Sweet Revenge because it's an actual Jason movie. And we're gonna put Fight or Flight behind both those. Last House, and say at the end because like out of all these, I would never rewatch that one. Alright. What of these movies did I have the most fun with? Probably Waxwork 2. Probably Creepshow. We'll put Nobody 2 right here in the center. Friday the 13th up here. And Dream Child at the end, I think. Yeah. Let's do this. Alright. The good tier list. What's my favorite movie from here? I really like Across the Universe. I really like this. I think at the bottom we'll go The Ringer. Followed by Naked Gun. Followed by There Will Be Blood. Oh, this is hard. Followed by Cross the Universe, Together, Austin Powers, Spinal Tap at the top. I may come back to that. Let's keep going. When I was doing this, I actually thought of 2 movies that could be close to the perfect, so I'm going to put those 2 at the top right now. We got Karate Kid. We got I Know What You Did Last Summer. We're gonna go here. Yeah. Let me take a look. I'm not set on this yet. I don't want to overthink it though. I might just say screw it and go for it. Here's my final ranking. Screw it. I'm not going to overthink it. You guys know where these are. You got your own opinions. They're on a tier list anyway. They don't have to be perfectly ranked, but, you know, here's my rough ranking of these movies. I'll read it off to you one time. In last place, we got Last House on the Left, followed by Fight or Flight, Sweet Revenge, and Jason X. In that next tier list, we have The Dream Child, Nobody 2, The Dream Master, the Friday the 13th remake, Creepshow, and Waxwork 2. Jumping up to that good film tier list, I'm going to have The Ringer, The Naked Gun Original, There Will Be Blood, Across the Universe, Together, I'm switching that real quick, Austin Powers, Spinal Tap, and then up there in the amazing tier list, Freddy vs. Jason, just because it's dumb fun, will be at the end, followed by Return of the Living Dead, followed by Weapons, we got Friendship, and then my top 3 of the month for August are all going to be older movies, but we have Pet Sematary, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and Karate Kid. So that rounds it out. Karate Kid, my favorite of the month. Last House on the Left at the bottom. And that is all for me. Thank you guys so much for watching and following along. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know these tier list videos are a bit messy and all over the place, but you know, I just go off the dome for these. I write down the movies, I put them on a tier list, and I talk to you guys like I'm talking to a friend. So that's how I want to go at these. Thanks so much. Please, in the comments, let me know what you watched this month. Give me everything ranked if you want, or just like your 3 favorite and your 3 least favorite, whatever you feel like doing. I'll comment back, I'll talk to you about it, let's have a conversation. So thank you guys so much, and have a great day.